Flagship.
No.
Leave that there. Give it back.
It's Boxer's maiden voyage.
So I just said it's their flagship. You know what? I'm sick of you, mate. Right, anyway. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Boxing 365 for our wettest episode of Next Card in the Deck. The studio is leaking, and we are fixing it with Gorilla Tape, not a sponsor of ours, not yet.
If you do want to sponsor us, we accept payment in Gorilla Tape and Gorilla Glue.
Or new roofs. So, feel free to get in touch. But no, this is the next card in the deck. We're looking at Boxer's maiden card on the BBC.
It is.
Wow. Obviously, Boxer and Mr. Ben Shalom. And it's going to be at the Valiant Live in Derby.
I have two things to say. First and foremost, while you adjust your microphone. First and foremost is I am absolutely over the moon to see boxing back on the BBC.
Mm-hmm.
I have absolutely zero sympathy for Ben Shalom.
Cool.
That's the two things I wanted to say.
Perfect. That's fine by me. Moving on. Top of the bill, Clarke TKV.
Yeah, my misspelt namesake. Obviously, there's a couple of other similarities between me and Big Frazer.
Yep.
Big, for starters.
Yeah. Similar complexion.
It's a really good way of putting it. Do you know what? I hate this fight.
You hate it?
Yeah.
It's for a vacant British heavyweight title. How can you hate it?
Right, listen. I love British title fights. Especially British heavyweight title fights. Jamie TKV has somehow blagged himself a shot against David Adelaide, which was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. Only second to Solomon. No, not Solomon Dakers. Delicious Ori. Not punching anything for 6 rounds. TKV could have then fought for the vacant title against Dave Allen, which I was actually up for. And the reason I was up for it is because then Dave Allen would have guaranteed won himself a British title, and I'd have been happy at that. TKV would have had a record payday at a sold-out Sheffield Arena instead of Ben Shalom, which is why I've got no sympathy. Did his usual thing and pulled his fighter out of the big fight because Ben Shalom. And then he's given the chance to Big Frazer, which I'm okay with because I like Big Frazer. And Big Frazer's got a huge background in the amateurs. You look at the medaling and the titles he's won over that period. Against a guy who belongs absolutely nowhere near the top table of British heavyweight boxing.
You know what? I'm not a big fan of TKV. I don't think he's got loads to offer, but I don't know. We're not that blessed that you could say that he's not. He doesn't even deserve to be around British level.
Let's talk through.
Maybe British level is his limit, though.
Let's talk about Jamie TKV. Don't need to say a lot about Frazer. Big Frazer.
I'm going to say a lot about Frazer.
No, look. I want to talk about TKV first because you've made me feel like I need to justify myself.
All right.
Let's talk about the domestic heavyweight scene.
Yeah.
Ben Shalom, again, Mr. Ben Shalom, in his press conference just gone for, obviously, the Adam Nazim Eubank and Richard Riakporhe, the fights he represents on that card. And he said that once Richard Riakporhe deals with Tommy Welch, the aspiration is British titles. Okay, no problem. I'm okay with that, by the way, because the British title level is a good level for me, and I'm a big fan of the Lonsdale belt. You're telling me that Richard Riakporhe is behind the queue with Jamie TKV. You're telling me that Jamie TKV is a better fighter than Richard Riakporhe?
Well, no.
Jamie TKV is a better fighter than Tommy Welch. Jamie TKV is a better fighter than David Adelaide. Better than Solomon Dakers. Better than Nathan Gorman. Appreciate he's not been fighting. Does Johnny Fisher, the guy who everyone keeps going, he's not even an area level. Well, he is. He won an area title. Does TKV beat Johnny Fisher?
So, TKV does not belong anywhere near a British heavyweight title. You heard it here first. Tom, what do you think of that? What do you think of my assessment?
I think you've made a really good assessment.
Thank you.
And I'll be honest with you, I think on that note, we will end the show. Frazer Clarke will win convincingly. And Jamie TKV will hopefully, even invited to the Ben Davidson Performance Centre. Like, where in the world has Ben Davidson and Lee Wiley gone? Do you know what we need? Another heavyweight. Oh, really? Yeah, I know we've got Moses the Town there. Unofficially, we've still got AJ. And I know we've got Fabio Wardley, but we really need an elite heavyweight. And they've gone, I know a guy. He's half Congolese, half Ukrainian, half British. And his name is Jamie Shakeva. Oh, yeah, is he any good? All right. Is he beating anyone of any note? No, not really.
Listen.
Anyway, sorry, this is not.
He had a decent fight with David Adelaide. In that he gave David Adelaide a lot more trouble than he deserved to. Is that fair? David Adelaide should have dealt with him a lot easier than he did.
But David Adelaide's he's just a left hook on legs.
But David Adelaide gave Hrgovic a fairly hard time.
Yeah.
And Hrgovic is a good fighter. So what I'm saying is, if you're doing it on who's way, he did give Adelaide a harder night's work than he should have.
I will concede that one.
So I will say,
yeah,
in a Frazer Clarke, whose best fights are beating Dave Allen, a Dave Allen that was not in that fight, not up for that fight, a Massey VS not a bad win, and Bogdan Dinu. And then, other than that, his best fights that he's been in are with Fabio Wardley, where he drew.
Do you think he deserved to nick the first fight? Do you think he did enough? A lot of people did, didn't they?
A lot of people thought that he nicked him just through his boxing throughout the rounds. But I think, yeah, probably. He probably should have just nicked that fight. But a draw, I don't know. Not necessarily. You're not going to.
No. Wardley as well.
Robbery.
Wardley was a champion as well, wasn't he? Yeah. It comes back to that thing of
the other thing was
close rounds. You got to take the belt,
and they did it again, and he just got annihilated. It was unbelievable. I've never seen somebody's head cave in from a punch like that.
It was. I mean, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, look, let's be honest. That's what we all tune in for. It was phenomenal, and Fabio, look what Fabio's gone on to do. Like he just continues to prove himself. But look, I'm going to give my level-headed view on this fight.
Yep, go for it.
And I promise you this is level-headed. Frazer Clarke is British level. Frazer Clarke has got a hell of a lot more in his locker than TKV. He's got a hell of a lot more in his locker than Adelaide. I think Frazer boxes him for the first couple of rounds. I think TKV will try and make it awkward. But I think Clarke stops him 7th, maybe 8th round. I
do like Big Frazer. I really do. I think he's a good character. I think he's a really nice guy.
Really nice
and
guy.
I think he's got plenty about him. I think it's one of those where the hindsight of what Fabio's now gone and done makes you go, oh, it's not. There's no, well, not that there ever was. No. There's really no shame in what happened in that.
Do you know what?
In that second fight.
We, mostly me, use the comment quite regularly where, you look at people's records and you go, he's like no, whatever, But that fight, no lost. He's like wine for Frazer because there's no shame at losing at that level.
No.
And yeah, it's I think Frazer will go on and do decent things. I think if he wins this, because we have to give TKV his credit, he's in the fight.
Yeah.
If he wins this, he goes on for big rematches with, Dave Allen. That's been talked about quite a lot, which I think would be a good fight for both guys. Decent paydays for both guys.
Yeah.
That's if Ben Shalom lets Frazer Clarke out of his cage, because, that's what it seems to be the case at Boxer at times. TKV, I think if he wins, I don't know where he goes.
He's fought for an
nose of the town the next.
He's fought for an IBO international title before.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. He's been, in a boxing ring.
I think the likely outcome is Clarke probably beats him, but I'd be reluctant to say he stops him just because, again, of how the Adelaide fight, the end of it was very controversial.
And his first loss against Mercado. Mercado? That's right. Brazilian. I watched it. I was at your call. It was a cut. He was getting beat up, by the way. TKV wasn't winning that fight, but it was a cut that ended it. So TKV does strike me as being quite tough, but do you know what? I'm going to give a compliment to end it before we move on to one of the hottest prospects in female boxing in Britain. I think it'll be entertaining.
Yep.
I think it'll be an entertaining fight, purely for the basis that Frazer Clarke is a better boxer than Adelaide, which means his shots will be more accurate, which generally speaking means you'll get a slightly better.
Hopefully, Frazer Clarke goes and beats him and keeps on moving on, doing his thing. Only good things for Frazer Clarke, hopefully. Right. 10 rounds at bantamweight for our ladies on the card, Fran Hennessy and Fabiana Bytyqi.
Great pronunciation.
I don't know if I've exactly got that right. But Fran Hennessy, 6-0, one stoppage, 21 years old. Great start to her pro career.
She's brilliant for boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she first came through, obviously part of the famous Hennessy family in boxing. So obviously daughter of Mick Hennessy, boxing promoter, brother of what's it, Michael Hennessy Jr. I think that is right. Anywho, entertaining. She's brilliant on camera. She's got like her ring walks are. She's just. We need characters like that in boxing, and I think she's absolutely brilliant. I think staying with Boxer was a good move for her. I think being on the BBC, she's already talked about she wants to be on the Great British Bake Off. She wants to go in to do like Strictly Come Dancing and all that sort of stuff.
That's good because she wants to be a personality as well.
Yeah.
So, some people, boxing doesn't work for them like that. It's not like that, but it's good that she wants to be a personality because that's going to make her exciting to watch. And it's going to mean as well she's got good publicity and she's somebody that people tune in to watch, and rightly so, based on the start of her career.
The thing is, for me, Boxer are going to become a bit of a platform promoter, which is okay, right? Adam Azim stuck with him because
probably loyalty. I think Adam Azim's the kind of person.
He strikes me as that type of character, but I think he'll benefit from that sort of publicity. But when they get to a point that they're big enough, marketable enough, profitable enough, your Matchroom and Queensbury will come in. We've seen it this week. So Pretty Boy Josh Kelly posted about it earlier in the week. Was with Matchroom previously, went to Wasserman, fought on smaller halls, fought on Channel 5, got himself into a position of mandatory challenger for the world title, got his fan base back performing. Out of contract, Matchroom's come in and
sign again.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I think it's a good place for Fran. It's a good fight for a 7th fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most experienced fighter she'll have fought so far. Previous world champion for the WBC at atom weight.
That's really small.
That's really small.
You ever seen an atom?
That is smaller than minimum weight. That is very small.
It is.
Her last fight, this is Bytyqi. Her last fight was at Super Bantam in September, but she did lose that fight. But against a decent opponent in Seren Setin, whose only loss has been whilst she's been challenging for world titles at bantamweight. So a good opponent, experienced opponent, somebody who's fought at the highest level of women's boxing, really, even though it's in the lower weight classes, who's now looking at bantamweight, which is a jump and a half. But again, she's fought at super bantam, so shouldn't be an issue at all. This is a big. I'm sat here thinking this is a big test. Really, based on experience, based on the fact that you're a previous world champion and defending it multiple times.
I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see how Fran gets on here. So she's putting some really good performances. But like you say, this girl's going to come in, want to spoil the party. First show on the BBC. She's here to make a stink of things, and Fran's going to have to deal with that. A little bit of inactivity. So, nothing horrific. I think she fought back in March. But huge step up. And I think she wants to move on to bigger and better things. I think, within a couple more fights, I think Fran's going to be in a position where world title's going to be knocking. It doesn't take long to get there in women's boxing, just down to the depth. And this will be a real telltale sign of, are you ready for that? I think you go and beat her convincingly.
I think this is the kind of springboard that makes you more relevant for the bigger names that are already in that division. So not like Bytyqi, who's obviously coming up to that division. So then the bigger fights make themselves.
Sky Nicholson.
Well, I think that's probably a few fights down the road.
Probably. And their friends, I don't know if they'd fight.
Oh, there you go then. But the kind of fights like this that go just beat an experienced ex-world champion. You're of a level. Prove yourself as a threat, and look at world titles. And like you say, I think, especially at the minute with the depth of things like that, you could say that there's the space that it could be 3 or 4 fights
Yeah, 100%.
And then it happens.
Yeah, 100%.
Which would be amazing.
It would. And I like Fran. She's great for boxing. She's great for women's boxing. She's very good for boxer. And I think I'll be honest with you. I think from what we've seen, I think she's guaranteed to go and win a world title at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck, Fran.
Yeah, good luck, Fran. Right, next fight we will talk about Bobby Dalton and Joel Kodua.
I like Bobby Dalton.
Yeah, 10 rounds, English welter title. Bobby Dalton is 11-0, 2 knockouts. He is 26 years old. He debuted in 2022. No amateur background.
Nope.
But his best win was in his last outing against Ben Vaughan.
Yeah.
That was in July. So he's had fight fit very recently, which is good. And that was for the vacant title, which he'll now be looking to defend against Kodua, who is 9-0, 2 knockouts. He's 28 years old. He also debuted in 2022, also with no amateur background. And his best win was in his last outing, where he won the Southern Area title via a technical knockout in the final round.
Should we just call this a white collar fight?
Absolutely not.
No,
we won't call it a white collar fight. It's for an English title. You pleb.
Yeah, so I do honestly. I really like Bobby Dalton. Does he have the potential to go on and do amazing things in sport? No, I don't think so. I don't think he punches hard enough. If I'm honest, I think that'll be his
undoing.
A little bit, yeah. I think that's the difference sometimes, especially at the lower weights, especially the higher weights. To be honest, I think that's sometimes the difference between the absolute elite and the in between. It's a good fight, actually. Competitive. I think the plan with Bobby would be that, get through this, have a couple of maybe international bouts in between, and
I think
push on to
what you said there about what he'll do. I think British titles is something he could look at.
Tough division, though, the welterweight division.
I was going to say, it's not about, well, in the sense that there's fights to be had there, it's a pretty good division to be in as a Brit. There are fights out there that if he goes and wins this title and, continues to perform well, continues to train, take himself seriously, which I'm absolutely sure he will, there's fights out there that are winnable, and depending on how he performs, they could lead to bigger things. I think I wrote a few down. I was looking at people that were above him.
Yeah.
Owen Cooper, Chris Congo.
Yeah.
And obviously higher up the list, we've got more significant names. We've got Harlem Eubank, we've got Jack Catterall, who's going to be out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there's names where there are people who could fight, and in Britain, it could move him up those rankings. Look at British titles, maybe even past that, but it just depends how he gets on in this.
Yeah, and this is the thing. This fight against Kodua, I don't know, isn't a given.
No.
This is a tough fight.
They're very similar resumes, very similar sort of
the only difference is that Kodua has suffered a loss.
No.
Has he not? Didn't we?
No. So I'd say the only difference being that Kodua has only just picked up his Southern Area title in his last fight, whereas Bobby Dalton just picked up the English title. So a bit ahead of him in that respect. Obviously looking now to defend it. And if he could defend it once, twice, and then look at moving on. Yeah, absolutely.
So just for clarity, not to create any sort of clickbait or content for the channel, but you're saying that when Echo Esserman beats Jack Catterall should be realistically challenging for the English title against the winner of this fight.
I don't like your hatred of Jack Catterall.
I don't hate Jack Catterall.
What you do.
Right. Purely on the basis
Jack Catterall, if you're watching, feel free to come and knock out my brother-in-law, Tom Cron.
Right. I have to clarify. You're making me explain a lot today. So, I'm backing Echo Esserman because he's a local guy from Nottinghamshire, and he's our boy. He's one of our boys, and he's going to go and do. Look, Jack, all I said in a recent video was that I think you've run out of steam. That's it. And I want to make something abundantly clear, right? I don't have to justify myself to you or Jack Catterall, okay? My opinion's my opinion. I said to you, if Jack goes and does a job on Echo Esserman, that is a statement to show that Jack Catterall has done well. He's had 2 fights this year, both of which have been stinkers.
Right. This isn't about Jack Catterall.
Well, why are you bringing him up? Listen, Bobby Dalton versus Kodua, right? It's going to be an absolute banger. You got 2 guys, can't particularly hit that hard, but they're going to scrap it out. They're going to throw 500 shots apiece, and it's going to be a war.
Now that Tom's finished. There was another fight meant to be on the card. Mario Silva, Bradley Goldsmith pulled out. That fight is not happening, so we're going to move straight on to one of our little special fighters, special favourites of mine and yours, Jack Massey.
Welcome back, Jack.
Welcome back, Jack. Versus Ivan Gabriel Garcia, 6 rounds at cruiserweight. For those of you that aren't familiar with Jack Massey, 22-3, 12 knockouts. He's been stopped once. His losses come to Richard Riakporhe, Joseph Parker, and Jai Opetaia. The Jai Opetaia fight is corner through in the towel in round 6. Riakporhe was early in his career, and as far as I remember, it wasn't that convincing of a win.
A lot of people had Massey winning that fight.
I think it was. But Riakporhe also fought CBS as well, didn't he? And I think they had that down quite close, so I didn't want to get myself mixed up there. So
either way, Jack Massey won.
Then he came and he fought Joseph Parker on the Eubank Smith card, which we were there for, which is where we got our little hype for him. We watched his little video where he was talking about his life, where he was born, chapel on the Frith, stuff like that.
Being a scaffolder.
Yeah, we absolutely fell in love with him. And he did himself wonders in that fight. He looked so tough against Joseph Parker. He's not a heavyweight.
Bear in mind as well, he came in, he didn't come in heavy, did he? He was like 15 stone.
He was just.
Yeah. Like, maybe you shouldn't be in there. But he did himself well. He gave... I think the cards were a little bit too heavy on Parker's side.
It was very dominant.
Oh, no, sorry. I need to be clear. What I mean is they gave it as an absolute whitewash to Parker.
Yeah.
Me personally, especially the early rounds, I think look, it might be a bit.
I'm just thinking the same thing we've talked about a lot now. Yeah. Is this round is better than the last sort of thing.
Maybe.
But still,
I haven't watched it back, so I couldn't say for definite. To be honest,
he's out. He's out on the Clarke TKV card. He is fighting Garcia. I would hazard a guess that there's hopefully a sort of gather ourselves for Boxer and go, we actually have had Jack Massey on multiple cards now.
Maybe we should sign him.
Maybe we should nurture so that we've got a decent fighter in our stable, because he is a good fighter. And he went and he beat Isaac Chamberlain.
That was career best win that for him. Yeah.
It was a fairly close fight, but I would say I felt like he definitely won it. I felt like I didn't particularly have any doubt that he won it. For to win titles, win the Commonwealth and the EBU titles. So he's a good fighter, and you sort of think, well, he went and he fought Jai Opetaia, Jai Opetaia's he's not fought. I love him. He's not fought loads and loads of good level opposition.
Maris Breedis
twice. So he went and fought somebody who other people aren't really fighting.
Yeah.
And he showed lots of heart, and his corner just had seen enough, and that's it. And I don't think there's no shame in losing to a world champion, but there's definitely no shame in losing to Jai Opetaia.
I think they pulled him out too early still.
That was I think that was me and you with our heart.
No.
Come on, Jack, you can do it.
You can do it. Throw another shot. No, look, and I haven't watched it back. But Jack's a tough man, and he was getting absolutely peppered in there.
It was bad.
But look, this should be a routine enough victory. I don't think we need to cover his opponent too heavily.
Well, we'll just say he's got a 10-4-1 record. All of his wins are by knockout. He's been stopped twice before. Most recent loss was to Leonardo Mosquera, who's quite a well-ranked Frenchman.
He is. Do you know who he's beaten? Chef Clarke.
Yes, he has.
The EBU European title.
He absolutely has. So that was his most recent loss. I didn't write down all the rest. He's not done. He did a lot of fighting in Argentina, I think it was. I can't quite remember.
Somewhere in the south.
Should have written that down.
Somewhere South American.
But I'm hoping it's going to be, like I say, fairly comfortable for Jack, and hopefully a good talent at cruiser will get some love and looked after, and maybe put him in fights where it's not beat Isaac Chamberlain. I guess I'll fight Jai Opetaia now.
Jack Massey, as
we're looking at you, Jack.
Yeah,
we love you.
As obsessive fans, I describe ourselves. Obsessive in a good way, though. Like as in, if you want a back rub, I'll give you a back rub. That's not obsessive. Nothing too weird. If you wouldn't mind giving us a shout, that'd be absolutely amazing. I will tag you in everything forever until you message us. And when you do message us, we'll get you on the show. But via Zoom for your own safety.
Yeah, Tom's not allowed that close to anybody.
That's the reason that literally all of our interviews. What you guys don't realise, this is a prison cell.
It's very jazzed up.
It's very jazzed up.
Right. That does bring us to the end of the card. So we are going to go through our
Frazer Clarke
winners. Predicted winners. So at the top, Clarke TKV.
Frazer Clarke.
Brilliant. Fran Hennessy and Bytyqi.
Fran Hennessy.
Bobby Dalton and Joel Kodua.
I'm going to go Bobby purely on the fact that I like him.
Okay. And then Jack Massey, Gabriel Garcia.
Jack Massey, future world champion, our guy.
Spot on. Right. Fight of the night. Really?
From a style point of
view. Can I jump in then?
Yeah, go on.
I feel like I'm going to say Bobby Dalton.
That's what it'd be like.
Because it's for an English title. It's one of those titles where this could be the furthest they ever go. So it means a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially to fighters with no amateur background.
Yeah.
So I think that could tie in for a good fight. Again, they've not got great knockout power. They're not punchers, but I think it'll be a good fight because they'll want it.
I like that.
So that's what I'm going with.
Well
anyway,
chosen.
Upset of the night, Tom.
Purely no. Listen, I'll talk you through my mindset just very quickly. I'm not picking TKV ever for anything. I'm not going to pick against Fran Hennessy. Jack Massey, not happening. I'm not picking against Jack. Unfortunately, as my least favourite person on the card, and I like Joel Kodua. Is that right? More than I like TKV. I'm picking Kodua as the upset.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What about a rating for boxers' first card on the BBC Valiant Live Derby, headlined by TKV? But remember that there's a couple of titles. British heavyweight title, English welter title. I'm just saying, I want a rating.
If I was rating this as an absolute small horse show and not a BBC maiden voyage to boxing being, you're going to think I'm being harsh. 3.
Right, okay.
I'm not explaining myself.
All right, fair enough. Don't explain yourself. Right, we're going to look at AI's predictions, rate the robot. We've got Clarke wins by stoppage, rounds 4 to 6.
Does the robot say TKV doesn't belong anywhere near the top table of heavyweight domestic boxing?
It says he has holes in his defence and his consistency. Then we've got Fran Hennessy wins by unanimous decision, close fight, home field advantage and slightly fresher. Fair enough. Bobby Dalton to win by stoppage.
Really?
Okay. Gradually breaking down Kodua. I like that.
Okay.
Massey takes it by decision. Garcia will trouble him. Really? Okay.
They clearly don't know how good Jack Massey is.
Well, I'd say maybe underestimating Garcia a little bit, but I don't see Jack Massey particularly struggling with him. But AI is more right than us, apparently. So,
sorry, Jack.
AI thinks you're going to struggle with Garcia. We think AI is wrong.
Do you know for next week, should we let the AI host the show and we'll just do a little bit at the end by the computer?
I'm not sure we've got the facilities to do that, but if we could, that'd be an interesting episode.
It would. Okay. Right. Do you need me for anything else?
No, that's it, mate.
Gotta be honest, I'm done with boxing. TKV's ruined it for me.
Perfect. Right. In that case, as always, please like and subscribe, hit the notification button to make sure that you keep up with all of our episodes. We don't just do this, we do lots of other formats. Make sure to look at TikTok, Instagram, like, comment, talk to us. That's what we're here for. All right. And we'll see you in the next episode.
See you later, guys.